If you were given two paths, one that would give you money today, and the other that would take months of hard work, but change your life later, which path would you choose? Most people choose the first path. And that is their biggest mistake. Today's story is about a young man who almost ruined his life in an attempt to achieve quick success. But then an old teacher said just one sentence to him. That sentence changed his entire destiny. This story is about a small town in the US state of Vermont. There lived a 26-year-old young man, whose name was Joseph. Joseph was a carpenter. He made beautiful wooden furniture. But he had one big weakness. He wanted everything right away. If a table took 3 days, he would try to complete it in 1 day. If a chair needed a fine finish, he would finish the job in a hurry. The result? Customers often returned. Someone would say, "This drawer doesn't close properly." Someone would say, "This wood became crooked in a few weeks." Every complaint would make Yusuf angry. He would think, people are demanding too much. In comparison, an old carpenter also worked in the same workshop. His name was Master Hamid. He would spend several days making a single table. He would rest each piece of wood. He would check each joint several times. And when his furniture was ready, it wouldn't break for years. But Yusuf felt, this is all a waste of time. One day Master Hamid just smiled and said, "Son, furniture made in haste may sell out soon. But furniture made with patience is remembered for generations." Yusuf laughed at this and started his work in the same hurry again. A few weeks later, Yusuf got the biggest opportunity of his life. Mr. Allen, the owner of the famous Green Valley Lodge in the city, announced the manufacture of high-quality wooden furniture for his new building. The order was so large that if a craftsman could get it, his financial problems could be over forever. Yusuf's eyes sparkled. "I have to take this opportunity." He immediately agreed. Ustad Hamid asked quietly, "How much time did you ask for?" Yusuf replied, "They have given a month, but I will prepare everything in 15 days. The teacher said in surprise. "So quickly?" Yusuf laughed and said, "Nowadays, speed is success, teacher." The teacher only said one thing. Speed is a good thing, but speed can never replace quality. Yusuf ignored his words. From the next day, he started working day and night. He does not wait for the wood to dry completely. He would start the next step without letting the glue set completely. He would take shortcuts in everything he did. He would think, the customer only wants something beautiful. Who cares what's inside? After 15 days, the entire furniture was ready. Everything looked perfect. Mr. Allen was very impressed. He paid the full amount. Yusuf jumped up with joy. He felt, I won. Only 3 weeks had passed, when one morning his phone rang. On the other side was Mr. Allen. The anger in his voice was clear. "Yusuf, some tables are shaking, several chairs are creaking, and 2 cabinets are crooked." Yusuf's face went pale. He immediately reached the hotel. The scene he saw was the biggest shock of his life. The guests were complaining. The staff were worried. The furniture had really started to deteriorate. Mr. Allen said sternly, "I didn't buy cheap furniture. I paid for the best work." He added, "Either rebuild everything, or give me back my full money." Hearing this, Yusuf's feet gave way. He didn't have that much money. If he had returned the money, he would have been in debt. If he had rebuilt the furniture, it would have taken months. That night he was sitting alone in his workshop. For the first time, he realized that haste had not moved him forward, but rather had pushed him back. He remembered the words of Ustad Hamid. Work done with patience is remembered for generations. He couldn't sleep all night. As soon as the sun rose in the morning, he went straight to Ustad Hamid's house. There was shame in his eyes. He said in a low voice, "Master, I have lost. Will you teach me once again what real craftsmanship is?" Master Hamid looked at him carefully and said with a slight smile, "Son, when a person admits his mistake, then his real success begins." From the very next day, Yusuf's life began to change. This time he was not the impatient young man he had been before. Now he would open the workshop every morning with Ustad Hamid. First, the Ustad would take him to the pile of wood. He picked up a board and asked, "Tell me, is this wood ready to use?" Yusuf quickly said, "Yes, Ustad, of course." The Ustad smiled and handed the board to him. "Not with your eyes, feel it with your hands." Yusuf carefully touched the wood. It was slightly damp. The Ustad said, "If you make a cupboard with it today, then in a few weeks it will shrink. The joints will open, and the customer will lose trust in you." Then he said softly, "Remember, every good thing in nature takes time. Trees, crops, rain, and a successful person too." These words sank into Yusuf's heart. Now he began to be patient in everything he did. He let the wood dry completely. He would check each joint several times. If he saw even the slightest flaw, he would remake the entire piece. Many times he would spend 2 days, on the same table, just doing the fine finishing. At first, he was nervous. But with each passing day, his hands became stronger than before. One day, his sister, Sarah, came to the workshop. She saw Yusuf working on a small wooden box, for 3 hours. She was surprised, and said, "Brother, earlier you used to make 3 tables in a day. Now, why are you spending so much time making a small box?" Yusuf smiled, and replied, "Before, I used to save time, now, I am making a name for myself." 3 months passed. During this time, Yusuf did not accept any big orders. People even made fun of him. Some said, "He has lost his momentum." Others said, "He is no longer the craftsman he used to be." But Ustad Hamid always said, "People only see today, successful people see tomorrow." One morning, a black car pulled up outside the workshop. A woman got out of it. She introduced herself. "My name is Mrs. Emily Harper. I am the director of a historical museum." She said, "We need a craftsman, who can recreate the quality of furniture that is 100 years old." She added, "We had heard your teacher's name, but he said that now his student will do this job better." Yusuf was surprised. He looked at the teacher. The teacher only said, "Today is not your exam, the result of your hard work has come out." Yusuf took a deep breath, and this time, he made a decision that changed his fate. He said, "I will definitely do this job, but there is one condition." Mrs. Emily asked, "What condition?" Yusuf replied confidently, "I will never compromise on quality. If it takes more time to do the best job, then I will not rush." Mrs. Emily smiled. "That's the answer we were hoping for." The museum project was the biggest test of Yusuf's life. He had to create more than 50 handmade furniture models. Every table, every chair, every cupboard had to look as if it had been made by a master craftsman 100 years ago. This time Yusuf made a promise to himself. "I will not rush. I will do my best." Every morning he would arrive at the workshop before sunrise. Before starting work, he would look at the wood for a few moments in silence. He no longer considered wood just an object, he considered it a responsibility. He would carefully select each plank. He would rub each edge repeatedly. He would try each joint several times before moving on to the next step. Many times, a minor flaw would cause him to redo the entire piece. His colleagues would say in amazement, "It doesn't take that much effort, no one would even know the difference." Yusuf would smile and reply, People may not notice, but my conscience will. 4 months passed. Finally, the day came when all the furniture was delivered to the museum. On the day of the inauguration, the city's big businessmen, architects, journalists and guests were present. People were looking at each item in amazement. An elderly craftsman patted the table and said, "This kind of work is very rare these days." An architect said, "This is not just furniture. It is art." Mrs. Emily announced to everyone. The real credit for the success of this project goes to a young craftsman, who reminded us that quality is always greater than speed. The entire hall erupted in applause. Within a few weeks, Yusuf's fame spread throughout the area. People no longer asked for cheap or quick work. They would say, "We will wait. But Yusuf will do the work." A waiting list of several months formed outside his workshop. His income increased many times over. He also paid off his old debt. He bought a beautiful house for his sister Sarah. And first of all, he went to Ustad Hamid. He silently kissed his hands and said, "If you hadn't stopped me, then I would probably have been rushing all my life. And never succeeded." Ustad Hamid put his hand on his shoulder and smiled and said, "Son, success doesn't come to those who walk fast. Success comes to those who walk steadily in the right direction." Friends, we all become like Joseph at some point in our lives. We want results to be achieved immediately, jobs to be obtained immediately, businesses to be successful immediately, YouTube channels to become famous overnight. But the truth is, nature never rushes. Still, she completes her work in every season. Trees do not provide shade in a day. Rivers are not formed in a night. And strong people are not developed in a few days. If you are not seeing the results of your hard work today, don't despair. Maybe your success is quietly preparing right now. Remember, haste may give temporary benefits, but patience gives lifelong respect. If you have learned anything from this story, then be sure to share it with your friends and family. And for more such heart-touching moral and motivational stories, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and press the bell icon so that our next story reaches you first.